Each December, the Montgomery County Council selects a new council president and vice president for a one-year term. Generally, the sitting vice president is elevated to the role of president of the council, and a new vice president is selected, but not always. This year, the normal process was followed. An incumbent council vice president, Kate Stewart, was selected as the president. An active council member, Will Jawando, was installed as the vice president. Maricé, the council president has the ability to establish the agenda for the council, schedule bills, and Ms. Stewart stated, this council understands that we are bigger than one person alone. We are stronger when we put our heads together, roll up our sleeves, and works to support the common good. What can we expect for the upcoming year?
Well, I want to congratulate Kate. I think we have a wonderful future with her leadership. She, as a former mayor of Tacoma Park, I think the media has kind of pigeonholed her as a very just super liberal and progressive, but they forget that as an administrator of a city, she has had to deal with the business community, and she's practical. So I think that Kate's going to be a great council president. And with Will, this is his second term. I think I don't think he plays as nicely in the sandbox. So it's nice to see him finally elevated after 2 terms. It's kind of unusual, but I think they're ready to face some of the attacks on the county coming from the Trump administration coming up 2025.
Well, I think, I still think that the council is kind of adjusting to the 11-member council in some parts.
Sure.
And working out some of the relationships that are necessary. Stacey, as Maricé mentioned, the new council vice president, Will Jawando, is one of the most progressive members of the council. And will this leadership role impact the direction of the council, or is it really being run by the president of the council this year?
Well, perhaps, and it certainly won't be for lack of trying on Jawando's part. I think he and Ms. Stewart will do everything possible to enact their extreme progressive agendas. But they need to keep in mind that 2/3 of the citizens here voiced their deep frustration with the direction of the county by voting to term limit Mark Elrich and all county executives going forward. I heard from a Democrat insider that Jawando wants to elevate his national profile and be like the next Al Sharpton. And right now, to Maricé's point, he's in the sandbox, he's co-ruling it, and he's very effective at emotional appeals, such as that we discussed this previously, the Period Equity Act he promoted, trying to make the case that all Montgomery County businesses should be providing free menstrual products because they were too expensive for the working classes here. He can easily get people worked up and believing that they're being discriminated against for a variety of reasons, whether they're rational or not. So I expect to see a lot of these types of initiatives being rolled out from him. But again, a word of caution, there were a pretty equal number of independents, Democrats, and Republicans who supported the term limit measure. And if he and the council aren't careful, they might find their terms limited by voters in the next election.
Yeah, I find Mr. Jawando to be an interesting council member and person. I don't know him at all. I've never met him. Just from afar, he reminds me more of Tom Perez, who was who rose to prominence as a Montgomery County council member, and then to other higher offices, including being chairman of the Democratic National Committee. So I believe he was secretary of
Department of Labor.
Department of Labor. Thank you. I couldn't remember if it was HUD or Labor. So Will kind of reminds me of Tom. Nothing wrong with wanting to have aspirations. I hope it's not a talk show host like Reverend Sharpton, but we'll see. And what's interesting, Maricé, is the cast between being business friendly and being a non-growther. What are we the council is seeing a lot of pressure on affordable housing and other things. I mean, are they going to strike a balance, and is Kate capable of doing that?
Absolutely. I think you've seen it with Friedson being the former president, and so you saw the collaboration between Kate. I keep saying Kate because she's a friend of mine, but Councilwoman Stewart, and I think that she reflects the vision of, the just wanting growth in the county, because I mean, you can have affordable housing and development at the same time. And we want to be a county that welcomes professionals, young families to come in and settle down and, raise our county revenue. So I think it is going to be a good balance.
So, Stacey, any other thoughts that you might have about the makeup of the council and the direction that this council is going to go in for the next remaining year?
I think it's frightening. It's yet to be seen, but I think we need to buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Well, the council has been accused in the past of not being transparent. And, we saw that when we had the decision on the Montgomery or Maryland National Capital Park and Planning, where, they made some radical changes in the makeup of the commission. They fired everybody. So I hope we're going to see more transparency from this council and greater community involvement, particularly from the business community.